Welcome to the Blount County Workshop meeting for Thursday, November the 13th. Commissioners, please register your presence while we play the emergency evacuation procedure.
Before we get started, let me read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the door. Once you reach the main floor, follow the exercise and exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles.
Mr. Clerk, can you please take the roll?
Mr. Chairman, you had 15 members present and 6 absent.
Thank you. Commissioners Bledsoe, Webb, and Bowers let me know they had a conflict and would not be able to attend tonight's meeting. With that, I will stand for a motion to set the agenda. I have a motion from Commissioner Giles, a second from Commissioner Martin. Commissioner Wales.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if there's not any objection, we have the State Director for the Home Builders Association, Mr. Dan Mitchell, here with us tonight to present their findings for Blount County. We'd like to hear their presentation.
Without objection, we can add that to the agenda. Does anyone object?
Who is that motion?
All right, without objection, we will add that to the agenda.
What was that?
Just let somebody talk. We will add it after the budget consent calendar.
Who was the motion in second?
Carver. I don't remember the second. McMahon Carver.
After the budget gets...
All right. With that, we'll vote to set the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, you have 15 yes votes.
Thank you. With that, the agenda is set. Moving on to public input to items on the agenda. Does anyone wish to speak to an item that is on the agenda?
Got one.
Come forward, sir, and please state your name and what district you reside.
Hello, David Campbell, District 8. I'm going to be talking about resolution number 2511-019. It's a little loud. I just want to thank you guys for taking the time, for whoever was participating in the resolution. Just thank you for taking in consideration on behalf of the Blount County Fire Protection District employees. And we're in support of the resolution, and just thank you for everyone that has put that time and effort into looking into the cause, and the employees do appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, moving on, I'll stand for a motion to approve the minutes. Motion from Commissioner Giles, second from Commissioner Carver. Is there any discussion on the minutes? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 16 yes votes.
Thank you. With that, minutes will be moved on to the full commission. Up next, general consent calendar. I'll stand for a motion. Motion from Commissioner Reagan, second from Commissioner Carver. Is there any discussion on the consent calendar? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 16 yes votes.
Thank you. The general consent calendar will be moved forward to the full commission. Up next, we have the budget consent calendar. Do I have a motion? Motion from Commissioner French, second from Commissioner Davis. Is there any discussion on the budget consent calendar? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 16 yes votes.
Thank you. The budget consent calendar will be moved forward to the full commission. And now we will stand for the presentation from the home builders. If you could, sir, introduce yourself, and you have the floor.
Thank you for having me. My name is Dan Mitchell. I am the state president for the Home Builder Association of Tennessee. I'm also a Blount County resident, a builder and developer right here in this community in David Wells's district. I'm also very involved in the National Association of Home Builders. I chair the resolutions committee for NAHB, and I'm also the national area chairman representing Tennessee and Alabama. And what I'm here today to do is present some factual information that NAHB has pulled together that is specifically geared towards the finances and the economics that relate to home building that are in this county. Just to let you know, the Home Builder Association of Greater Knoxville that represents 13 counties surrounding Blount County, and we made the request at that association to be able to have NAHB provide the specific information for each county. So just let you know, every bit of the information I'm sharing with you today is specifically here related to what's going on in Blount County. So we'll start with the first slide, please. Obviously, you see the surrounding counties that the Home Builder Association of Tennessee represents, and then we're going to talk about Blount County. Next slide, please.
For those of you that doesn't know, we can push the projector button on our little box here, and it'll bring up what's on the screen up there, for anyone that maybe didn't know.
So again, the Housing Policy Department of the National Association of Home Builders developed this economic model to be able to give counties and municipalities estimates about the economic growth that would be experienced if you put 100 single-family homes within a given market. So what we're going to be talking about very specifically is a parameter in which 100 single-family homes, new construction, that would be brought into this market. So this comparison also is large enough to include the labor and the housing market where the homes are built. The numbers that are being generated are actually coming from NAHB's Census Bureau. So all the information that we've collected actually came from Blount County census, but also the economic census that Blount County produces and be able to provide. We reached right into those economic data to be able to produce this particular presentation. Again, this represents 100 single-family homes. And the estimated is 1 year metro area impact of 100 single-family homes that are built in Blount County, which includes $36.2 million of local income and $5.2 million in taxes and revenue for local governments. And it'll also employ approximately 388 new jobs if we start 100 single-family homes. Additionally, the reoccurring impact, the ripple effect is what we call for the 100 single-family homes, will also include another $4.7 million in local income, $1.6 million in taxes, and other revenue for the local governments. And then ongoing jobs, another 65 ongoing jobs during that process. Again, the general approach is to be able to find all the information which we have done, but not surprisingly, the cost per housing units substantially across major service categories, can vary, but publicly owned utilities usually account for the lion's share of the annual expense, followed by the shares of education and publicly provided health services. And I bring that specific line item up to say that in order to build 100 single-family homes in any given market, you have to have the infrastructure to be able to support those. And like in all counties and jurisdictions, sometimes that is the biggest issue is how are you funding those items? How are you going to provide the infrastructure, whether it's water, whether it's electrical, or whether it's this educational programs to provide new schools? But this is information that's going to help you understand if you go through that process of approving 100 single-family homes, the value and the increase in revenue that you gain from doing so. So we break this down into basically 3 phases. Phase 1 and 2 are one-time effects. In other words, when we start the process, what type of effect is it going to have on the economy? What does that 100 single-family homes look like and how it's going to impact the economics for the county itself? And then we break it down in phase 2, which is another ripple effect that captures directly the effects of the wages and the profits that are being made and how it services the community. In other words, the workers coming in, they're providing the services to build the homes, the economic benefits from the vendors, the salespeople, gas stations, restaurants, and et cetera, are all benefiting because of those individual workers coming into the area providing homes. The phase 3 is the local jobs and income and the taxes generated as a result of the home being occupied. A household moving into a new home generally spends about 3/5 of its income on goods and services sold in the local economy. A fraction of this will become income for local workers and local businesses and proprietors. In a typical local area, the household will also pay about 1.25% of its local income into the government. That in forms of taxes, user fees, and a fraction of this will also provide to the local government as well. The first step is in another economic ripples that cause the permanent increase in level of economic activity and jobs and wages and tax receipts. You know, before I jump to the next slide, it's imperative that I say this. When construction stops in a given community, that means now as things start moving forward, infrastructure starts to deteriorate. That means that the burden of costs now are being passed on to the local citizens that actually have homes there. That means that over a period of time when pipes start degrading, electrical grids need more work, roads need to be repaved, well, you as a county commission have to find the revenue to be able to do that. And typically it comes from taxes, and that tax typically comes from some type of property tax. When you limit the number of people within a given community, then those people bear the burden of not just the initial cost of putting those infrastructures in, but then the ongoing expense of maintaining those infrastructures. There's a breaking point at some point to where that infrastructure cost exceeds the ability to be able to cover the tax revenue. That means that you guys are put in a position of having to raise taxes to cover those expenses. If you add homes into a given market, then that means you're spreading that burden a little bit farther down the line, and you're being able then to use that additional revenue coming in to be able to not only bolster some of the existing infrastructure, but adding new infrastructure along the way, and then leveling the playing field, if you will, from your constituents that are actually paying the property tax. And we've seen that proven out time and time again through the entire nation, and it's something that NAHB, the National Association of Home Builders, is really focused in on and saying, what is the financial impact of a community stopping any progressive building, and then what is that long-term impact that it has to the current constituents there? The other thing that happens is when you stop construction is that the house values go up. That means because of supply and demand. I can tell you right now in this metropolitan area, there's a 38,000 housing deficit, a need right now in this particular market that's surrounding this area. That's a low estimate. Some say it's as high as 52,000. Regardless, it's a deficit. And that means even if we put 38,000 houses in this market right now, it still would be not enough to be able to keep up with the demand that's still coming into these communities. And as we know, the demand is great. More and more people are moving here. And subsequently, when we have people moving in from the outside communities, that means they're bringing money from the outside, and then that means they're willing to pay a higher price from where they came from. Let me rephrase. They sold their property at a high price. Now they're coming in a community that the expense is not as high, and now they're willing to spend a little extra money. That means the local community, the people that have raised their families, kids, grandkids, and their grandkids, then it's almost impossible for them to be able to afford and compete in that same market. Subsequently, that means that they're moving outside the community. So it's also a societal issue that where the families are being spread apart or broken up because they can't even afford to buy a home in the market. Right now, the median house price in this market throughout this metropolitan area is roughly about $425,000. That's the median house price. And as you know, some have been around for a while, homes used to be $160,000, $180,000 several years ago. Just as a note, and again, I've known Mr. French for some time now. I've been a builder and developer here for almost 30 years. And I've built homes, entry level, and then I've built high-end homes. And right now, the market is basically out of touch for anybody wanting to step into the entry-level home. So this is why this information is so important, so I'll continue on. In order to estimate the local impacts generated from the home building business, it's necessary to talk about the sales price, which we just did. The raw land contributes to the final price, and how much the builder and developer pay the local area governments in the form of permit and utility connections and impact fees. That's something that commissions can be able to set and to be able to kind of regulate, but it also has an impact on the final cost of the home. So more regulation that's put on as far as impact fees and requirements to be able to develop a particular piece of property, that means the higher the price of the home is going to be in the end. And again, the goal for NHB, and I tell people, my number one goal is to try to figure out how to lower housing prices as a builder, not to how to raise them. So some of the information there, and I'll let you read through that, you'll be able to scan back, but it's based upon the raw land also, and then the infrastructure that might be already existing in place. So in phase one, the value of construction plus the services provided at closing, permit, hookup fees, and impact fees, model the local economy, and then how does that equate back to local income and taxes? Now, this slide's not very big. It's a little bit bigger. For those in the audience, it's probably going to be tough to read, but you guys can see it here. So this is basically the impact of building 100 single-family homes in Blount County, Tennessee. Again, specifically here, the direct and indirect impact of the construction activity. Now, this is phase one. This is during the construction phase. The land's there. The homes are starting to be built. They're delivering the concrete and the framing packages to the site. As you can see, the construction aspect of that, single-family homes, in this market would generate $19 million. Then the local businesses that also benefit there is about another $4 million, and then local wages about $17 million. And if you go down that list, you can see the manufacturing, transportation, the communication, and utilities. All of those things are revenue generating. At the end of the day, it generates roughly about $24 million in revenue here in this community building 100 single-family homes. Also, if you go across the board there, you can look at the size of wages that are also for the salaries there. That's another $16 million that's there. And then that equates to about 234 jobs that are being added into the market right now. And the average salary based upon that information is around $70,000. You can look down the list and parse that out some. That's phase one. The local government revenue by type is this. So they get some business property tax. In other words, the entities, the construction firms actually paying personal property taxes for their business. That generates about $41,000. General sales tax, that means the revenue from selling lumber, other commodities that are being purchased by the contractor, generates about another $450,000 for the local sales tax. Then there's excise taxes, licensing fees, and license taxes and other taxes. But basically about $515,000 that is being generated in tax revenue just because of single-family homes, or 100 of them being built. So also the user fees and charges, residential permits, and there's some other costs there, utility expenses, hospital charges, transportation charges, and so forth, education expenses. These are costs that we're talking about that relate to some of the expenses that a municipality might be having to endure. Now you can see there is the general revenue aspect of it, but if we go on, I'm going to skip here. It's the ripple effect that phase two now creates. I'm not going to read all of this data, but basically what it says there is that within the communities that this data now has a ripple effect. When you build those single-family homes, what's the next impact stage that it's going to have? And those people that are coming into the communities are purchasing and going to restaurants and living here as well, and then it's also creating jobs. So in phase two, the local income taxes from phase one, spending on locally produced goods and services. Of course, it models the local economy, and then it relates to local income and taxes. And if you go into this sheet in the phase two of that, after the spending the income from the individuals coming in, that generates about $11 million of total income for the community. And if you go across, it also creates about a $57,000 wage rate and adds another 154 jobs to the community. So local revenue, again, changes a little bit. Now you get some business property taxes because of the residual of what's happening in phase two, and you're generating another $516,000 in total taxes. Again, some expenditures that relate to on the $2 million side. I'm going to skip ahead and go to this. ongoing impacts of stage 3. That means the people have built the homes, they moved into them, and now how they live there. They're paying property tax, they're going to local restaurants, they're buying local goods, they're improving their houses, they're adding landscaping, decks, painting their home. They're doing a lot of things that they're relying on the local vendors, proprietors, and other individuals, from landscape maintenance all the way out to having their house cleaned, pet sitters, all the way down line. And that's the ripple effect. So in summary, on phase 3, income of occupants and new housing units, this increases your property taxes. In other words, you're getting new property taxes on new values of new homes. That means that you're spreading the property tax burden again with 100 new homes in there. And also, they're spending on locally produced goods and services, like I said. And then it's also the model economy, and then the local income and taxes. Now I'm going to show this slide right here is what that looks like. From the construction standpoint, you've generated another $4 million in income, almost $5 million in income for the community. That means people living here, they're spending their money. They've come here, now live here, now they're spending money in the community, from going out to restaurants to buying services, entertainment. You also have real estate fees, utilities, the communication, transportation, manufacturing of items there as well. What's unique about that is that the wages now also increase because they're coming into the market and they're generating about $3 million in wages, about a $90,000 average wage, which equates to about 65 new additional jobs coming into the market. Now, this slide shows it a little bit different. When you're talking about the property tax, you get another $94,000. Residential property tax is $170,000. General sales tax another $108,000. So you're getting about another $407,000 in income to the community for the individuals building those 100 homes. So this is a cost compared to revenue. In other words, there is cost associated for the municipalities and the cost associated with some of the local governments, especially if they're in charge of handling streets, roads, and other aspects from the educational program. In the first year, 100 single-family homes built in Blount County would result in an estimated of $5.2 million in tax and other revenue for the local governments, with a $329,000 in current expenditures by local governments to provide the services of the new household at current levels. Then a $2.2 million capital investment for new structures and equipment undertaken by the local governments. That may be some new roads, that may be utilities, that could be across the board. And that's also comparing it as if a municipality and or a district or a county chooses to move in there, they would get a municipal bond at the rate of about 4.11%. In a typical year after the first single-family home was built, $1.5 million in taxes to the local government and an expenditure of about $658,000 to the local government providing the services at current levels. So when the homes generate a cumulative of $26.7 million in revenue compared to the $11.9 million in costs, that includes current expenditures, you can see the delta between there is quite a bit. You're making money by having homes coming in here. And let me just say this also, with new homes being built in the community, you're also getting some sideways movement. This assumes that some of the people that are building a new home are also maybe moving out of an existing home in the area. Because a lot of people are either downsizing and simplifying in their model, they're getting older, they want to change where they live, or they're wanting to move up into a home. As an example, they're an up-and-coming family, they've just had another child, they're going to expect to have one more, so now they need instead of a 3-bedroom house, they need a 4-bedroom house. And then an older population that are getting ready to retire that has that 3- and 4-bedroom house wants to sell that home and move into a smaller home, downsize and simplify. So you have some cross movement as well. But if you look at the difference between what it costs in revenue to expend, and then also what amount of money that you're going to make in just 100 single-family homes in this market. And again, this is specifically tailored to this market based upon cost data that has been generated from your own municipalities here in this county. That difference is about $14 million increase in a revenue base for your community. And you're also providing homes for your constituents. After 15 years, homes generated a cumulative of about $26.5 million, $11 million in costs, including annual current expenses and capital investment. I'm going to conclude with that and just say it this way. I live in Blount County. I'm a builder. I see the people coming. I know the challenges that we face on cost. I have individuals all the time coming to me, hey, can you build my son or my daughter a house in the community? And the reality of it is it's very difficult. We struggle as builders to be able to do that. Cost of construction has gone way through the roof. Since the pandemic in 2019, cost of construction has gone up about 45%. That's huge. If you remember right before the pandemic in 2018, you could be able to buy an average 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in this market for right around $265,000. Now that same house in the same neighborhood, in the same market, if it was listed today, would sell for about $425,000. That just makes housing unaffordable. So there's got to be pathways to be able to reduce expense. There's no magic potion that we have out there that is going to suddenly start reducing construction cost. Hopefully, the Fed looks in the mirror and says, hey, we need to reduce interest rates, and that's going to help the burden of the cost. We're also facing some challenges with labor. As you know, deportations with Latino population has had an impact on the construction industry, and that means costs are going up because of that as well. We can talk about tariffs having an impact right now, as the Department of Commerce just raised lumber tariffs to 45% of Canadian lumber coming from outside this country. That's huge. That's adding a huge cost to it. But at the end of the day, with collective efforts with municipalities, and again, you know, I have the benefit of living in this particular county. I travel the country and share this with a lot of other counties and a lot of other jurisdictions. And what I see, those that take a proactive approach to be able then to figure out ways to be able to manage the growth, one, and to allow new communities to be brought into their area, then they look at a long-term view of not only reducing the expense that relates to taxes, and I'm all for it for my county, I live here, but also being able to provide some new infrastructure. Because the bill is going to come due for all counties, all municipalities that aren't looking forward to saying, what are we going to do when our infrastructure starts falling apart? Where are we going to get that revenue from? And if construction slows down or comes to a stop within a given community, that means the current residents ultimately are going to bear that burden. And again, all of this information is for your edifice. It's to be able to provide you some very strategic information. I can get you down into the weeds as far as you want to go with it, or I can keep it at a 50,000-foot level. I can provide you that additional information. I'll give you all my personal email address. It's real simple, dan@eaglecdi.com. And again, I'm your state president for the Home Builder Association, and then I'm very involved on the national level too that provides all this information. I'm more than willing to stand here and answer any question that you have, but I don't want to monopolize your meeting at all. And I want to say humbly, thank you for allowing me as a local resident, but also as somebody that's very well informed about this information to share it with you guys. Thank you.
Mr. Giles.
Yes, thank you. Dan, thank you very much for the presentation. It was about a 25-minute presentation, and to be candid with you, I'm a little overwhelmed with the information overload. So will we have a copy, or can we get a copy of this PowerPoint presentation?
I provided the young lady with a whole packet of it. She'll make a photocopy of it, but if you'd like a PDF version, I'll share that with you as well.
That would be good. One other question. You said did I understand you to say there was a 45% increase in home prices since the pandemic?
That's correct. And the cost of construction. Now, specific home prices, I don't have that specific data in this market.
I heard you say tariffs and a few other things. How does greed play into that, in your opinion?
How does greed?
Greed, individual greed.
Well, I'm going to speak personally, okay? You know, back in the day when, in the early 90s, before the downturn took place in 2006, you know, I've built and developed multiple subdivisions through Sevier County, Seymour, up in the Gatlinburg region. My average, I'm just going to share numbers with you. My average margin at that time, I was running about 12.5% net. In other words, when I paid everybody off after a year and went back and everything else, I was averaging about 12%. My margins right now, on average, on completed homes after a year of construction over the last 3 years, and moving into this year now, is averaging just around 6.5% to 8.5%, depending on the home that I'm building. Now, in context there, some of the costs of the home are going up. So if you say, okay, well, I was building a $200,000 home and making 12%, now I'm building a $400,000 home and making that. So I'm not really making any more money, but the reality of it is in the market, I've got to be able to sell a home at an affordable price, or what somebody can afford in the market. And that's where the rubber meets the road. What is the I could build a home, and then whatever it costs, then how much can I sell it for? And so it doesn't come down to, okay, I'm going to set a target market that I want to make 15, 20, or 30% on a particular home. What I do is when I'm looking at that from that standpoint is how much can the market bear, and then what is my profit margins going to do it? So I'm just telling you right now, most builders are relatively running lean in that regard. They either make it up in volume, as for the number of units they sell, and you see the D.R. Hortons of the world coming into the market, building homes. That's where they make their revenue. Cutting their expenses as much as they can, monopolizing the idea of production, but also at the same time doing multiple homes to where they'd be able to make it in production. As a single family builder for myself, I have to manage every single detail to every cost downline.
Once again, Dan, thank you. Lori, would you get with Dan, if you will, please, and get an electronic copy? So I'm sure there are probably some other folks that would like to see this information. So thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Any other questions, comments? Again, yes,
I'm just going to thank you for coming. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, no, thank you for the opportunity. And again, I'm a resident. And so I feel the pain of everything that we know that's going on in our community. And my goal here is to make the best community possible for not only my neighbors, but also for the surrounding area. So thank you again for giving me the opportunity. I appreciate it. I'm more than willing, like I said, if you send me an email, if you want me to come and meet with you separately, I'll be happy to do that as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on, we have no unfinished business, new business. Mr. Clerk, could you please read the call on the first item, please?
Resolution 2511-001, budget increase, schools, $2,625,300. Appropriate education capital funds to replace the roof at Heritage Middle School, referred to full commission with a favorable recommendation by the Budget Committee, 5-0.
Have a motion from Commissioner French, second from Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Not a comment about this item specifically, but Commissioners, I did want to let you know that our main school representatives who are here tonight do have a conflict next week, so it would be better to ask your questions tonight while they're present. Otherwise, you might need to follow up by email or phone call. Thank you.
Commissioner Giles.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess my question would be directed to someone from procurement, but maybe somebody from the school system could answer some questions about this particular
Someone from the
resolution.
schools like to come answer some questions?
Thank you. Good evening. If I read the documentation correctly earlier, this was submitted out to 445 different vendors, and only 7 responded?
That is correct.
Can you talk a little bit about that process? Is it just talk a little bit about that process, that bidding process?
Well, I can. The actual process, that would probably be better answered by someone in purchasing, but it is a competitive bid process. They have a vendor list, and they push that bid out to anyone on that vendor list that falls under this type of service.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, they have about 30 days to respond,
Mm-hmm.
and then we collect the bids. They do a public opening, and we evaluate the bids. So it's not always the lowest, just because sometimes that doesn't work out, but we go through a pretty extensive bid evaluation process.
Great, thank you. 2 more questions that you might or might not be aware of. Did the low bidder win this particular award?
No, they did not.
They did not.
And the reason for that is the minimum bid specifications were not met, which there were a couple major things missing, so that would be an instance where the low bid was actually thrown out.
Okay. The winner of this particular bid, the $2.625 million, you know where they fell in the pack in terms of
They were the second lowest.
second lowest?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
great, thank you. And finally, is there a warranty that comes with this work?
There's a 30-year edge-to-edge unlimited dollar amount warranty with this roof.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Ron?
Commissioner Carver?
Just want to verify, the cost of that roof is how much?
$2,625,300.
Okay, 2 million, okay.
Would you like to vote, Mr. Carver? Did you vote? Mr. Chairman, you have 16 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution 2511-001 will be moved forward to the full commission.
Resolution 2511-002, budget increase, various departments, $644,152. Reappropriate general county funds from prior year to support ongoing capital projects. Referred to full commission with a favorable recommendation by the Budget Committee, 5-0.
I have a motion from Commissioner McMahon, seconded from Commissioner Caldwell. Is there any discussion? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 16 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution 2511-002 will be moved forward to the full commission.
Resolution 2511-003, budget increase, schools, $464,300. Appropriate general purpose school funds due to the increase in state funding to meet mandated occupational and physical therapy services to special education students. Refer to full commission with a favorable recommendation by the Budget Committee, 5-0.
I have a motion from Commissioner Martin, second from Commissioner Carver. First, I have Commissioner Giles.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have some questions about the school funding that's been taken away. Is it reduction in state or federal funding?
Ms. Spence, would you like to come answer that?
Those are federal funds. So it passes through the state, but it's federal funding.
Okay. Ma'am, do you know why the reduction?
We don't, and it's one of those things where federal funding, we're well into the budget year, well, a couple of months into the budget year before we actually know what we're going to be allocated. So the recommendation is you take what was budgeted last year and you apply it to the next fiscal year. And sometimes that requires adjustment, which is what we're doing now. This is an operating expense. Previously, before last fiscal year, it was handled in 141, it was local dollars. It shifted over to federal funding last year. And so unfortunately, that's not going to be possible this year, so we have to shift it back.
In my understanding, that will be taken out of our 141 general
That's where,
defense fund?
yes, it'll be paid out of 141, correct.
Does this reduction have anything to do with the current, that you're aware of, at the federal level of kind of doing away with the education departments?
It does not. Are you talking about the shutdown? Does it have
Yes.
anything to, no,
No.
it does not.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, no, you go ahead.
I read where we're talking about, our current administration is talking about maybe reducing or eliminating the Federal Department of Education. If that happens, will we see more of these things in your opinion or less? And if you don't know,
I mean, I think we don't know.
okay, that's fair.
But I don't
That's
think
fair.
it's related to that. This ebbs and flows. Every year it changes.
It states in here that it is mandated, so we don't have a choice.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
I'm going to check Mr. Akert in. Hold on. Will it let you now, Mr. Baker? Yeah. See if it'll let me. Okay. What is your vote, Mr. Akron? Yes vote? Okay. Mr. Chairman, you have 17 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution 2511-003 will be moved forward to the full commission.
Resolution 2511-004, budget increase schools, $336,976.78. Appropriate Tennessee State Special Education grant funds to provide special education and related services to preschool students with disabilities. Referred to full commission with a favorable recommendation by the Budget Committee, 5-0.
I have a motion from Commissioner Carver, second from Commissioner Giles. Is there any discussion? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 17 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution 2511-004 will be moved forward to the full commission.
Resolution 2511-015, budget decrease, schools, $836,565.87. Decrease budget to align with state budget for the Innovative School Model Grant. Referred to full commission with a favorable recommendation by the Budget Committee, 5-0.
I have a motion from Commissioner Davis, second from Commissioner McMahon. Is there any discussion? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 17 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution 2511-015 will be moved forward to the full commission. Moving on to appointments. Mr. Clerk, can you please read the first one?
Veterans Affairs Committee, 4-year term, reappointment of Commander Frank C. Kusiowski, Jr., AMVETS Post 22 representative.
I have a motion from Commissioner Davis, second from Commissioner McMahon. Is there any discussion? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 17 yes votes.
Thank you. That appointment will be moved forward to the full commission.
BCSO Corrections Disciplinary Review Board, 2-year term, appointments of Lieutenant Sam Hall as primary, Deputy Joey Mouse, Chris Cantrell, Captain Chuck Garner, Investigator Ashley Wilson, and Deputy Rayburn Angus.
A motion from Commissioner Davis, second from Commissioner Giles. Is there any discussion? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 17 yes votes.
Thank you. Those appointments will be moved forward to the full commission.
Planning Commission, 4-year term, appointment of Josh Sullins.
A motion from Commissioner Davis, second from Commissioner Carver. Any discussion? If not, Commissioners, register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 17 yes votes.
Thank you. That appointment will be moved forward to the full commission.
Resolution number 2511-012, resolution to authorize a $12.50 charge by the clerk of every court in Blount County having jurisdiction of state misdemeanors and felonies for the purpose authorized and set out in TCA 40-3-06.
Have a motion from Commissioner Carver, second from Commissioner Kaler. Is there any discussion? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 17 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution 2511-012 will be moved forward to the full commission.
Resolution number 2511-016, a resolution that approves the Blount County Human Resources Department agreements that extend beyond the end of the fiscal year term.
A motion from Commissioner Carver, second from Commissioner McMahon. Is there any discussion? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
You have 17 yes votes, Mr. Chairman.
Resolution 2511-016 will be moved forward to the full commission.
Resolution 2511-017, a resolution of the Blount County Commission to support the designation of the Army National Guard Armory located on U.S. Highway 321 in Maryville, Tennessee, as the William O. Gregory Army National Guard Armory.
I have a motion from Commissioner Davis, second from Commissioner Carver. Is there any discussion? Not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Commissioner Carver, would you like to vote? Thank you. Mr. Chairman, you have 17 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution 2511-017 will be moved forward to the full commission.
Resolution 2511-018, a resolution to add members to the Blount 250 Committee.
A motion from Commissioner Giles, second from Commissioner Davis. Is there any discussion? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 17 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution 2511-018 will be moved forward to the full commission.
Resolution 2511-019, a resolution of the Blount County Commission urging review and corrective action regarding the Blount County Fire Protection District.
I have a motion from Commissioner Davis, second from Commissioner French. Is there any discussion? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Mr. Chairman, you have 17 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution 2511-019 will be moved forward to the full commission.
Item 9, setting of a zoning public hearing to amend Section 7.20.c of the zoning regulations specific to the open space requirement of cluster developments.
I have a motion from Commissioner Carver. Do I have a second? Second from Commissioner French. Is there any discussion? If not, Commissioners, please register your votes.
Missed one. Hold on. Mr. Carver? How would you wish to vote? Yes. Apologize, Mr. Chairman. You have 16 yes votes and 1 no vote.
Thank you. The setting of that zoning public hearing will be moved forward to the full commission. Up next, we have announcements and statements. The Human Resource and Insurance Committee meeting for next Tuesday, November the 18th, are canceled. The Election Commission will meet Wednesday, November the 19th at 11 a.m. in the Elections Office of the Blount County Courthouse. The Board of Commissioners will meet in regular session next Thursday, November the 20th at 6 p.m. in Commission Meeting Room 430 of the Blount County Courthouse. And also, I would like to wish Commissioner Giles a happy birthday tomorrow. And up next, I have Commissioner Giles.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On Tuesday of this week, several commissioners, Commissioner French and Commissioner Anderson and I, attended the tribute to our veterans on Veterans Day at the Rio Church on Lamar Alexander Parkway. I don't see anybody from the Veterans Administration present. Is there? Okay. Okay. Well, I just want to say, for those of you that have never attended, just an outstanding program. And I guess I would ask the question and make a statement at the same time. Is there a more noble thing that you can do than to admire, respect, acknowledge, and recognize the veterans of this country, and let alone of Blount County? Very, very well done program. A lot of people were there, a lot of emotion, and very well done, very well represented by the Heritage High School ROTC and William Blount ROTC, along with one of the dance teams when you came in. So just wanted to recognize our current Veterans Administration and wonder what a wonderful job they not only did on Tuesday, but what they do for our veterans on a daily basis.
Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll echo Commissioner Giles' sentiments. It was an excellent program, and I won't repeat everything, but they did a great job. It was a great program. I'd also like to recognize someone who I think everyone around here respects quite a great deal for all the hard work that she does, for how much she pours into this county and into her job, and for her wonderful staff, and that is our County Clerk, Gay Hasty. On Tuesday night this week, the County Officials Association of Tennessee recognized her as the County Clerk of the Year. We could all just give her recognition.
No, please, you can't talk. Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Up next, Commissioner Carver.
I would like to recognize one of my cousins, Tom Carver, and his service as a military soldier. Thank you.
Do we have any more announcements or statements? Not, we're going to move on to public input to items not on the agenda. Does anyone wish to speak to an item not on the agenda? Ma'am, please come forward. State your name and the district which you reside, and I'll remind you have 3 minutes to speak.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Diane Robinson, Alan Robinson. I reside on Stables Drive in Townsend, Tennessee. I am here today with the agreement of my neighbors, residents, and property owners of Stables Drive, which include the Allens, the Stevens, Norcross, Collier, Reeder, Hart, and McCarter families. On October 29th, I encountered an employee of the Blount County Highway Department coming down my driveway, and I asked him what's going on, and he informed me that the Blount County Highway Department was moving forward with taking over our private road. I then telephoned the Highway Department, and they informed me that they are moving forward with their interest in making Stables Drive a county road. It is currently and has always been a private road. Stables Drive is contained in the private property on the McCarter property land deed. This matter has been discussed with other property owners, and the consensus majority is in opposition of the Blount County Highway Department maintaining Stables Drive. In the past 2 years, we, as the neighbors, have contacted the Blount County Highway Department on separate occasions, myself personally by telephone, which has resulted in us being told that the Blount County Highway Department had no interest in Stables Drive. So that's what we believed. We were all blindsided to find out that the Blount County Highway Department had a renewed interest in Stables Drive. Each property owner has their own, and there are numerous reasons for their strong belief that Stables Drive should remain private. Emails have been sent to commissioners, the Blount County Highway Department, and the mayor's office on this matter. Stables Drive is a private road and should remain as it is, private. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak to items not on the agenda? Come forward. Please state your name.
Harry Rothschild, District 2. Want to get on your calendar for the Bill of Rights banquet on December the 19th. One of the gubernatorial candidates is going to be speaking, and I'm inviting all of the mayoral candidates to speak as well for 5 minutes. So look forward to having all of you attend, and appreciate you, Mr. Chairman, for having attended in years past. Thank you.
Anyone else wish come forward, sir? If you could, please state your name and district, and I'll remind you have 3 minutes.
Hello, I'm Mark Homer. I live in Townsend. I believe that's District 8.
Okay.
I drive a 2018 Camry hybrid, and this year, I found when I try to renew my registration, I'm told that my car is considered an electric vehicle, so I have to pay an additional $100 for registration. I would request that the commission consider either not having hybrids as a part of electric vehicles or have a separate category. I do get 50 miles per gallon during the summer, about 46 during the winter, but I still put $100 of gas in per month, so it isn't as if I'm not contributing any tax to the county. I realize that's not a large item, but it's just something that comes up for me personally every year and other hybrid owners. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak to an item not on the agenda? If not, I'll stand for a motion to adjourn.
So many motion.
I started to answer, but I knew I should.